Okay. All right. Dreaming of Diamond. Lindsey Joseph is here with us tonight. We cannot wait to learn from her, learn how to double our team size, learn how to do all the things and to get that mindset right. So without further ado, love you.
Yay, so excited. Thank you, Sadie, for asking me to join. So believe it or not, if anyone knows me, Allie, I know I met you and it was such an honor to meet you. She was the sweetest, but I am super introverted and have like the biggest yellow personality you could ever imagine. Like, oh, well, okay, if only as long as it's pleasing you, we'll do that. I'm a recovering people pleaser, and the business was kind of intimidating for someone like me getting started. The products were put in my lap at a time of like desperation. I was struggling postpartum beyond belief and couldn't even peel myself off the couch. So I just needed the products to work for myself. So then all of a sudden, when God's like, hey, girl, you're going to share this because you don't want any other moms to deal with what you're dealing with, that was a little overwhelming for me. So I actually had zero interest in doing this as a business. I actually said, no, thank you, a few times to my upline, Brooke Kleberger. I'm sure a lot of you know her. And so it was a little difficult to all of a sudden have like a booming business. I've been like 4.5 years with Plexus, and it was pretty like each year was pretty significant. Oh, I did not know that you and Brooke went diamond the same month. That is so awesome. So that is actually the month that I went Sapphire. And so I just can't believe that at this point I didn't want anything to do with the business. And now I am a Sapphire with Plexus. I went from making $0 a month to all of a sudden a 6-figure earner. So that is absolutely crazy. And it has come with a lot of struggles, a lot of valleys, but so many good things too. And I feel like that's why I actually enjoy speaking now for the first time in my life. I never thought I would enjoy speaking, but when you go through some tough crap and you've learned from it, you want to help other people learn from it. And so I do tend to have a little bit of a tough love personality because these are all of the things that I've had to tell myself over the last 4.5 years, because I am somebody who doesn't give up. And that's the only reason why I'm still a Plexus. I'm just going to be 100%. I am competitive. And whenever I know that I want something, I'm going to go for it. And that's kind of how I am even here at this point. I am not going to lie, I've had some downfalls in my business, and that's kind of where I was before I went Sapphire. So I went Sapphire in March. And the crazy thing is in January of this year, I had 1,500 points, like literally just hanging on to Emerald points at 1,500. And I was just basically like, okay, look, you're going to stop making excuses for why your points are 1,500 and you're not growing, even when you're adding 50 people. And you're going to take it by the horns and you're going to take ownership over your business. And what do I mean by that? I mean, well, none of my team's working. How am I supposed to move forward when nobody else wants to move forward? Well, how did you move forward in the first place? How did you get to Emerald in the first place? How did you get to Silver in the first place? How did you earn silver stars? Because you built silvers and you worked your business and you went out and you found business builders who wanted your time. So my number one advice is stop pouring into people who simply don't want your time. Your time is valuable. You can love on those people, make sure you do, because they still matter and they're still significant in your business, and they are going to need extra time in the future when they're ready. But stop trying to revive the dead and go find new. I think so many of us get hung up on, well, I have such a big working team, like we can do this. Yeah, but there's so many other people out there who need your products and they need financial freedom too. So why aren't we giving them the opportunity? So in January, I basically had to step back and ask myself, what are you not doing that you were doing when it worked? And there's a whole list of things that I'm going to talk to you about, but I just want to put it in perspective. I went from 1,500 points in January and I ended March at 3,800 points. I went Sapphire on the last day of, or no, on the 28th. And then by the last day of the month, I was dead in bed with the flu and ended, like, I looked at my points the next day or whenever I was like revived, and they were at 3,800. So just to put under perspective, literally in 2 months, my business more than doubled, which is insane. And so that's just what I want to tell you. I'm nobody special. And I love myself. I mean that like, I don't mean that rude against myself, but if I can do this, literally anyone else is capable. I promise you that. But the only thing is you have to be willing to improve on something. You have to be willing to say, what I'm doing isn't working and I can do better. You have to be willing to stop and say, you don't know everything. You can still learn at any given time in your business. I don't care if someone joins you, they only have one person under you, but they can bring something to the table. You better listen. I don't care what part of your business you're at. I am a Sapphire. I do not know anything. And Kaylee Johnson, she's on here, she's under me, and she is the queen at events. And she is the person who significantly impacted my entire team by showing me events because I wasn't good at that. I could not make a graphic to save my life until she's like, you just got to practice. And I did it. And she was brand new on my team. And I'm willing to learn from people. And that's the number one thing. Be humble and just know like you don't know everything and you can always learn. And if you can do that, I do think that you can do this business. You hear a lot of times people are like, anyone can do what I do. Like, you guys, that's making it seem like you don't have to work for what you do. It's making it seem like that it's just like the easiest thing. If it is, we would all be at the top. I do think anyone who's willing to grow, who's willing to learn, and who's willing to do things that they've never tried before, they're willing to fail just to move forward. I do think those people who aren't going to quit and who are going to do all of those things will be successful. I don't know what that timeline looks for people because that's not my job, but I do think if you're willing to do those things, you can do this business. So what are some things that I started doing at that point in my business of just basically being like, okay, what was working before? You guys, I know things have worked in the past and then they kind of stopped working and then they worked again, but I'm telling you what, pink 15s they work when you're consistent with them. Pink 15s are something like people need to know about. And so that you have a new person who joins you and you're a little intimidated to talk to them about the business. So what are you going to say? Basically, you're going to be like, hey, I'm so excited for you to get your products. How exciting. Make sure you snap a picture as soon as you get your pink drink. I would just want to see it for accountability. And you're going to tell them right then and there what the referral link is. You're going to give it to them so they know and say, okay, use this 3 times. Tell your friends and family what you're doing. Find 3 accountability partners, and you're going to get this much money this month. And then they're probably going to say, okay, well, how can I do that? You're going to help them with posting, genuine posting. They don't have a story of their own, so they're going to share yours and they're going to say, my friend Lindsey, she is doing this for XYZ. And so now I'm starting. So that's going to be their post. They're going to show up in their stories and they're going to draw people in to see what the heck that they're taking because everybody on this planet needs health. Like it's just a given. So you're going to do that right from the bat. And then if they're like, okay, well, how am I going to get these 3 people committed? You're going to host a pink 15 for them and you're going to incentivize because guess what? When you invest into your business, it's going to pay off in the long run and you get to write it off anyway. So incentivize. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. $10 off. Anyone who signs up tonight, you get $10 off. Whatever that looks like for you. My best friend makes these cute little custom glass cups and that's a good incentive right now. So if that's working, go for it. Whatever it is, invest in your team. So then you're going to host a pink 15 and you're going to get people to commit. Obviously, you're going to have some people where they don't get 3 in the first month, but that's okay. You're going to show them how easy genuine sharing is because that's what we're about. And you're going to introduce the business to them. If somebody says, yeah, I think I want to take the products for myself and see, you're going to be like, oh, I remember I was totally the same way. I understand. If you are a little bit concerned about getting your products paid for, go ahead and share my testimony, or even just say like, shout out to Lindsey for giving me this. You don't have to tell anyone information. You don't have to do anything, but just make sure that they share just one post even, and just kind of get their foot in the door. Some friends are gonna be like, hey, tell me what you're doing. And just don't be afraid. I was at the Leaders Excellence training and Robin Sullivan said that she mentioned the business to her friend 87 times before she started. And then she went diamond in less than a year. That's mind blowing. And here I am, one person tells me no about the business and I never bring it up again. Let's stop doing that. Let's be brave and asking. Okay. So obviously scheduling out the pink 15s and that kind of thing. I don't really follow notes a lot, but I'm trying here for you guys. Something that also worked was sample blitzing. I don't know if you've ever done it, but everything is fun in competition. I don't know if my team is the only team that is that way, but when I go in our team chat and I say, okay, My goal is to send out 200 samples by the end of the week. Who thinks we can do it? I'm going to give away this really cool swag bag if we do. And I'm not even kidding. Within 1 week, we sent out like 350 samples, like literally just like samples, like a stick, like that's so worth it. So many of us had like extra products in our cabinets that we could just mail out quickly. And I understand mailing things out is a little bit pricey. Play around with how you can mail them out, but getting a sample in somebody's hands is going to be the easiest way for you to follow up and for them to commit. So, and it doesn't even just have to be a sample blitz. How many Pink 15s can we get scheduled this week? If we hit this goal, I'm going to give away this. It can, like a blitz can be anything. You're just encouraging people to do the hard things. Okay, so say like there's like a limited time launch. Okay, I want to send out 300 messages between everybody. Make sure you comment how many messages you sent. I'm going to add the total. Once we do this, I'll do this fun giveaway. I love gifting. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a yellow. I love doing all those things. So I will incentivize the crap out of my team because I like spoiling them anyway. And investing in your business is always a good idea. And this is exactly how we created momentum back in January. You guys, everyone knows this is our slow season that we're in right now. Create the chatter, at least like keep the community there. And then January, it is hit the ground running and be ready to work for months. That's going to be your momentum season. And I'm saying that out loud, and you're going to say it out loud too, because what we expect is what's going to happen. If we say, oh, I don't know where this is going to come from in January, it's probably going to be a slow January. But if you say, everyone in January needs health, everyone is focusing on their health in January, and it's going to be our momentum season, that's exactly what's going to happen. And it's going to happen by you getting to work. It's going to happen by you getting samples in people's hands, by you sending that referral link to anyone new who joins and encouraging them to do a Pink 15, sharing on their social media right away. Hey, I never got that pink drink selfie. Go ahead and send that to me because I really want to keep you accountable to drinking that. Whatever it is, speak it and receive it. Whatever it is, just send. We want them to post. Okay. So then all the blitzing, everything else. Okay. So what happens whenever you're adding a crap ton of people and you're trying to keep up with them? I am the most unorganized person you'll ever meet. I'm going to admit that. And one thing that keeps me on track is if you have a big calendar in your office, like on my wall, every day put in who you're following up with that day. It makes it so like, it just like takes like the pressure off of you of like, I have 30 new customers that I had to follow up with between the last few months. And I don't even know like how to keep track of that. You're going to put, if you have to follow up with somebody 3 times in that month because they're brand new, you're going to put their name on a day of each week of the calendar. And it's kind of cool because you can like business follow up, like, and it's someone like far down in your downline, you just want to check in, or it's like new product user, label it, but have their names on that day so that that's what you know that you're checking in with that person and they're not going to get lost. And so your calendar is going to be full, but you're probably checking in with like 4 names a day. Like, doesn't that sound so much less like tedious and like anxiety if you have 4 people a day versus like I have this whole list of people who I need to check in on. And I'm not saying this because I'm perfect with this method. I just know that this method works and it really worked for me. So that's like my follow-up little tip there. And then also I wanted to touch on leadership training. You guys, I said it before, I'm not a natural born leader, and I would not be at this point in my business without doing leadership development. And I had no idea. I was that person who was Ruby without any golds on my team. And I was like, why in the heck does no one want to do this with me? I can't do this by myself. I can't add 300 people to go Emerald by myself. I can't possibly double my business to even go Sapphire by myself. You do not have to do it by yourself, but stop making the excuses and go find people who want to do it with you. Are you posting, inviting people to do it with you? Are you checking on your customers who are raving about what they're feeling and encouraging them to share to make money? You guys, we're bold with sharing our products. Be bold with the business too. How many people have the opportunity to make surgeon income in a significantly smaller amount of time without going into debt? It is an insane opportunity. And we are all like full of fear of what people are going to think that we're posting about money. You guys, people need money so incredibly bad right now. Like even more now than in 2020 when everyone was staying home. Everything's expensive now. And now people really need money to put groceries on their table. Make it small. You don't have to say I'm a six-figure earner because they're going to probably think how in the heck could I do that? But what about getting groceries for their kids? Like and they have to count how like what their total is when they're at the grocery store. What if they just walk into that grocery store and can know I can put food on the table for my kids for this week without stressing? That is significant. If you're only covering your products so that you are not a depressed mom and so that you can get off your couch and you can do your daily tasks that you were called to do and your kids deserve you to do, that is fine if you're getting your products paid for. That is not insignificant. That is huge. Get your products paid for so you can be your healthiest version of yourself. Start small with people. Help them see all they need to do is get a little taste. I promise you. I just got a little taste of what this business is and I couldn't stop. When I could go from making $0 for my family to staying at home, living my dreams as a stay-at-home mom. All three of my kids are in school right now, and I'm not stressing that I need to go get a job because that's what I'm supposed to do. I have a job. It's a really good freaking paying job. And I can go to Target with my best friend and get Chick-fil-A any day of the week that I want. And I can go and get my kids from school if they're sick. Like, what a freaking blessing that is. What parent out there would not want that? Like, that's insane to me. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Share those small things because those are significant in people's lives. We won't sit there and tell someone that they're not worth being healthy. So why are we going to tell someone that they're not worth getting financial and time freedom for their family? We're in a society that we think that we have to work our life away just to provide for our family. Instead, I think that we should be focusing on time spent with our family because life is too dang short. And so be brave in sharing that, just like you do about your products. You want to attract people who are business builders instead of people who just start taking the products. And I mean, it's nice to have an accidental business builder. I'm not going to say that it's not because that was me. But imagine if you attracted somebody who was so driven for the financial and time freedom. Imagine how hard they would work. Imagine how it would not be like trying to revive the dead and somebody to work with you and want this as bad as you if they were actually offered the opportunity for financial freedom and they wanted that so bad. Kaylee, yeah, that's Kaylee. That's why she went emerald in less, like what was it, like 8 or 9 months? I don't even know. And I mean, not even that. She went emerald that quick, but her husband also, her fiance also went senior ruby. Like she worked 2 accounts. So she's a senior ruby emerald household in under a year. That is insane money because she knew that she wanted to stay at home with her 4 precious babies and her why was bigger than her excuses. That is the number one thing. If you aren't in it right now, if you aren't excited, if you aren't willing to do anything that it takes to make this happen, your why is not big enough. If you are a busy mama, I totally get it, you guys. My life is about to be turned upside down and I'm going to be alone with my kids for a little bit and it's going to be crazy. But my kids are the reason why I started this business. So I'm not going to make them an excuse. It's so easy to say, I don't have time because of my kids, but yet you're doing this for your kids. Show them how it is to work for what you want and then enjoy what you have. Momentum season's not that long, you guys. Sometimes it can only be 3 months, sometimes it's 5, whatever that is. Work it. You have, maybe you're going to miss out on a couple things during that season, but then how many seasons do you have? Like how many months do you have where things are a little bit quiet and you can just enjoy the hard work that you created? You can do your follow-ups and you can maintain, but it doesn't have to be so crazy work scheduled and you can just enjoy things. And that's one thing I also learned at Leaders Excellence is it's okay during the slow season. Sometimes I get a little anxiety like, oh my gosh, things are slow. What are we going to do? It's okay. It doesn't always have to be crazy. So I feel like that was a lot. Oh, also my last tip, I'm reading one more because I'm trying to, I try to follow notes and it just doesn't happen. Stop avoiding your back office. I know sometimes it can be a little messy and sometimes you can look at your numbers and you can feel a little bit like, what the crap happened last month? You guys, you're not defined by your numbers. You're not defined by your rank. You can always go from 1,500 points to 3,800 in 2 months because I did it and I am literally like just a normal introverted person. you can always build back up. And honestly, I love the rebuilding phase even more than the straight phase, like if that makes sense, because that means I've learned a heck of a lot in the valleys leading up to the rebuild. And it's going to be something that is easier to maintain. And it's going to be something that I actually feel a little bit more proud of, because I know that I had to work through some crap to get back to where I was. So dig into leadership things, listen to the podcast, find somebody who inspires you to be better. Pick up a leader. I did the 21 laws of leadership. I don't remember exactly what that's called. I did that. That was game changer for my team. I highly recommend that. But just invest in your time and in your team. So I think that's all I have. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I talk fast and I'm all over the place. So I apologize.
Okay, that was amazing. I'm going to thank you first of all. I'm going to stop recording in case somebody has a question that
Okay.
they don't want to. Yeah.